So that was, this here was a half a tank and those 2 jerry cans. Morgan, would you like to say anything to anybody?
I'd like to thank everybody that's donated money so that we could fill these tanks.
Okay.
Super chatters, super thanks.
Super thanksers.
Yeah.
So we're pumping. This is a big fill. And actually we just filled down there, so we didn't have, the truck was fairly full, but we're running out of places before we go on a long run. And Morgan's pumping these jerry cans and he says to me, Buckin, this might be a good opportunity for us to just thank the people who are behind us on this road trip, and for people who are helping us pay for gas. And I said, that is an absolute wonderful time. This is a fairly big fill. Thank you all so much for all your help. Following along for sure, but the people who super thanks and super chat, there's also been people that have gone to my website, buckandbillyray.com, and they've clicked the donate button. I saw you freakers, you people who done that, and you donated on the donate button at buckandbillyray.com and left messages and said, thank you for the content, please put this towards gas. To those people, thank you so much. It's crazy. Like this will be amazing how much we spend. This will be neat for us to keep, and we're keeping track. Talk to you guys soon, and sincerely, thank you. You just start wondering, because you got so much time to think about. You're looking down a road at cars, trees and rocks and forest, and you ask yourself, what in the heck are we doing here? Friends, good morning to you. Hotel room, 6th, 7th? What, Morgan, what's the date? It's
the 8th.
It's the 8th?
It's 8. Yeah.
I thought I was going to be at, I actually thought I was going to be in Ontario already.
Well, we are.
Yes, no, sorry, I meant at our destination. I thought we were, but I've never done this, I don't know, and we have not slouched it. We've not slouched it, friends. We've been canisters to the wall, just going. Seriously, we have been. We've visited no one. We want to get to Broad River Forge. That is our destination, and then we work back. But we were tired yesterday. We were tired. We've been driving a lot, and that's a lot of sitting. Plain and simple, it's a lot of sitting. Thank you again to everyone that's just following along. I mean, it's so cool. I have not known this man that long. The guy that I'm traveling with. I've known him for about 3 months, maybe 4. It's all on the video. It's all on the channel. So we kind of were driving along yesterday, and we looked at each other across the cab, and we snickered. We just, what are we doing? You know what I mean? I mean, I know what I'm doing. And he's doing what he's doing, and we're doing it together. And I just think it's so cool. I truly do. I think it's so cool. When are you going to do that? Usually you do that with your best friend or your wife or your someone. You know what I'm saying? So we just were thinking about that, friends. So I set up the microphones. I put the phone, as you can see, on the ashtray there, and we just drove and we talked about how we connected. How this is all testament to YouTube, by the way. And if you know me and if you've been here long enough with me, you know that I believe YouTube can actually save the world, or better the world, because the world don't need saving. We need more love. It's that simple. We need more love in this world. That's how I feel. It's just one man's opinion. Just like I think the Ford 1-ton was a stronger truck than the Chevy 1-ton, and I've had both. It was just my experience. Yours could be completely different. Morgan said when I put that in the video, so you're looking for trouble on that one, Buckin. Like the still husky thing. It's all personal. We all know that. So we started rambling. So I turned it on, and this is me and Morgan talking about how we came to know one another and what his scenario was of reaching out to me. And if you're interested, sit back, grab a coffee, and enjoy the ride with us.
So
What?
yeah.
So when did you? What was your plan?
So, I mean, we talked about this a little bit this morning, and you know, it is interesting. Like I think it's only been about 3 months since I first met you, maybe 4.
Yeah, we haven't known each other long at all.
And now we're driving a '67 Mercury pickup halfway across Canada together. Like,
Yes.
you know, who does that, right?
Yes.
So-
yes. Carry on.
So anyway, about I'm going to say 4 years ago. Just doesn't really matter. It's a while ago. I started making preparations to build a shop extension.
Dead moose right
Oh
there.
yeah. And so, you know, I had to remove some trees. So I just thought, well, that's what YouTube's for, right? You can learn a lot on YouTube. So I did a search on YouTube for how to fall a tree. And lo and behold, guess who pops up? Mr. Buck and Billy Ray himself. And I actually remember the first video I ever watched of his. And it wasn't really related to fallen trees at all, but I just clicked on it.
A lot of gum flapping, I would reckon.
Yeah, so anyways, I did go on to watch quite a few videos on how to fall trees. And I had some challenging trees in my yard.
Building your shop.
Yeah, so I had to make way for that building site. So I ended up taking about 16 trees out, and actually my neighbor across the road, who's a faller, he took down the first few for me. He said he was going to do the rest of them, but just didn't kind of line up, and I didn't want to bug him, and it's not his problem, right?
No, and you wanted to keep moving.
Yeah, so I just went ahead and did it myself one day. So, of course, you know, what I saw Bucking doing on YouTube was extremely helpful in helping me do that, right?
Cool. That's good.
So, and then, so, you know, fast forward to like, say, I'm going to say 2 years ago, when I kind of rebooted my YouTube channel. So at that time I had started working in my shop, and my interest in Bucking's channel didn't end with, you know, I just didn't kick him to the curb and say, I'm done with you.
Just suck me up for what you could get.
Yeah. You know, because of who he is and what he does and what he stands for, I just kept going back to his channel. I subscribed, right? I was a subscriber.
Nice.
So you know, he kept popping up on my recommendations. So I just kept watching his channel, and then of course, you know, Myrtle's on there, and you had Sylvia at the time, and I think you were having a problem with your carburetor problem or something.
That's right.
And you know, to be honest, I thought that you're a local YouTuber and maybe you could help me out with my YouTube a little bit, right?
Sure, that's honest.
So I took a few pokes at you, offered to help you out with your problems on your vehicles.
I remember that.
And
I think I missed your first couple, didn't I?
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if you replied or you. Yeah, I think you did, and then you solved the problem on your own, and then I just extended the invitation to, you know, the offer, like it stands, right, anytime.
Yep.
And then I think at some point I got your attention, I guess enough that you actually went and checked out some of my videos, and then
Yeah.
I think
It was after that comment that you said I'm down here in Cowichan. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah, so-
Because I knew you were close.
Yeah, so then you just left a really brief comment. I think you said, good stuff here, Morg, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of it for a while, and then you just threw out. I think you wanted some work done on the red truck, so you made a comment on my one of my videos, and just asking me if I'd be interested in working on some of your trucks, and of course I accepted that.
You did.
You know, so.
And I want to interject just for 1 second, Morgan, because, friends, if there's no other way to put this, you already heard him say that he was hoping to maybe get some kind of help with the channel.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
and I kind of,
it's
I
what
don't,
we do.
I don't think I would have expected that if it wasn't for who you were, like the kind of person you were.
Yes.
I just felt that you would probably be
Yeah.
interested in doing that, right?
So what I was going to say was, for a YouTuber friend, and I know this may sound strange, but this is what it is like for a YouTuber who has a small channel. If he gets, like, if he makes a comment on a bigger YouTuber's channel, somebody likes or someone whatever, if they get a reply, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
It's a big deal
Yeah.
for us, friends. You got to understand that. Like when Logger Wade gave me my first shout out, honest, and he only had 9,000 subscribers, never mind 300. He had 9,000 subscribers when I got my first shout out on YouTube. I was like, it really ramped me up.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to convey that, friends. So that was a big thing for Morgan. It got him excited.
Yeah, it's a big deal when somebody that's got 300 plus subscribers says, good stuff here, Morg.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a shot in the arm for you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And that's not me saying, hey, it's just what it is. That's what it's like on YouTube.
So then what happened?
Well, didn't you came over to the house? I remember you coming over to the house.
So you invited me over, and we ended up, well, we looked at the red truck, and then we ended up messing around with the dump truck.
Well, you did,
right?
Yeah, you said, oh, that's right. You said, well, why don't we just look at this dump truck here?
Because it, because it was there.
Because Al was helping me or something, remember?
Yeah. So then, because you weren't able to bring the red truck up for a while after that, and then so I was there. So I said, well, let's try and get this thing to flash. Right?
That's right.
And then so if you guys have been watching, you know what happened. We did get it running. Fucking drove it around. He was happy as heck.
Yeah.
Thought the thing was gonna go for him, but then it let us down again, right? And we made another little try at it.
And we're not done.
No.
Like we're probably gonna have to do a timing chain on that dump truck.
Yeah. Well, it needs it anyway, so we are going to do it.
Yeah, it does need it.
So, and then I got the red knuckles.
That's right. You got knuckles. You started doing body work because the boy was gonna.
Yeah. So we had to, it was all cab mounts, rad support. It was all twisted.
So then we worked through that. Let's move through that. Then what?
You took knuckles away and left Myrtle there.
That's right.
Yeah. So then what made you think that you wanted me to come on this road trip with you?
Well, I don't even know how that happened. What happened?
I don't know. I don't actually remember the first
I know what
conversation.
you said. I remember you innuendo that you were interested in blacksmithing.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Well, no, but because when I first came up there, we did go in the blacksmith shop.
We did. And
we
you've always had an interest in blacksmithing, which I never knew.
Yeah.
So, but as far as you coming on this trip, did I ask you? Did I say, hey, or like, well, how the heck did you end up sitting here?
I guess you must have, because, right?
I must have said, I'm going on a road trip.
I'm going on a road trip with you. You asked me to come, right?
I think I said you want to ride shotgun on a road trip.
Yeah. So, no, I don't actually remember the initial conversation about
Nor
it.
do I.
So,
but you were in the midst of selling your Batmobile.
Yeah. So. I'd already committed, right?
Yes.
Like I said that I would go with you, but even though I'm doing my thing in my own shop and kind of at my pace, I'm still kind of for argument's sake or whatever, I'm a 9 to 5, or I might not work 9 to 5, but I still got to work every day to keep things going, right?
Exactly.
So taking off for a road trip like this is a big deal for me.
It's huge.
And I've got a wife, and we haven't done this yet, right? So it's a bit delicate, right? Like,
Honey, I'm going on a road trip with this bucking Billy Ray character.
Yeah, and he's a bit of a character, right? So,
and
so who knows what's going to happen? But
yeah, and you hadn't even done the road trip with your wife
that's
yet.
right. So
that's touchy.
Yeah. So I asked her about it. Basically I wanted her permission to go. Like,
yeah,
I don't care what you say. If you love your wife, you want her input, right?
You're not going if she says she doesn't want you to go.
Yeah, exactly. So
if you're a good man.
So and then this guy here, initially, okay, yeah, we're going to go to Broad River Forge, but then he starts saying, oh, maybe we won't go to Ontario. We just go see Tin Man.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we got a problem here.
Yeah.
I said, I sold my wife on this trip saying we were going to go to
the
blacksmith. And she said, well, you've been interested in that for a long time, so I think you should go and play around with it a bit, right?
So that was the sales pitch.
So I threw that back to Buchan, and he said, well, I guess we're going then. No hesitation.
No, well, exactly. Yeah. I said, well, then we're going.
Yeah. So
and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah.
We're
simple as that.
We're a day away.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah.
But this actually must be interesting for you, because it's very interesting for me. But you fixed my vehicles. Now you're driving my vehicles across Canada 3 months later.
Well, yeah. So, and then another thing about that is, okay, so Buchan, I could have cut those trees down without your help, but the reality of it is I did get your help through YouTube.
Yes.
I cut those trees down, and then I had a guy come in and mill up those logs for me so I could build my shop out of the lumber from those trees. I built the shop out of lumber that Buchan helped me get on the ground, basically. And now I'm working on his stuff in that shop.
In the shop that you built?
That I built out of trees that he helped me cut down.
That's kind of neat.
It is.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
And you know what, friends? There's kind of an interesting thing. Me and Morgan, this is the interesting part, and I'm going to talk about it just because that's who I am. I'm an honest man, and I like to talk about this because I think it's a good message. And it's none of my business what his beliefs are at all. It's none of my business. It doesn't matter to me what his beliefs are. I like the man. I go on energy and I go on character. So I've always liked his energy, but we share different beliefs. But we also share the main belief. Folks, that I'm not a religious man, but I am a believer in love, and I have my own beliefs how that goes, and we don't talk about that on the channel. Religion and politics are two things that I've never chosen to talk about, and I'm very happy about that. But I want to make it apparent to you folks who are watching that me and him, we have different beliefs on how this whole thing works. But there's a common denominator somewhere there, Morgan.
Yeah, I think there is.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I can seriously say that I love this dude. Just, he's just a good person. I can tell that. So, you don't, and you folks hear me talk about this all the time. I talk about my sandbox. I don't care if you're black, white, polka dot, pink, green, you believe in Buddha, Jesus, you don't believe in nothing. None of that matters to me whatsoever. Zero. None. I got a sandbox. I call it the sandbox. And nobody sits on the outside of my sandbox. Nobody. Everybody comes into my sandbox. And that's the message that I carry here. And I believe that our world, I don't see how it can't be like that. Yeah, how can we get along?
Well, I always say it's a lot easier to be nice to people than it is to be mean to them.
It's nicer. It's
You
easier to be.
you can't go wrong with being nice to people.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly. But you know, that's a personal journey on its own.
Right.
Not everybody's happy,
No.
Morgan. Not everybody's
And,
happy.
and I guess I don't know how I gotta be careful how I say things here. Some people couldn't care less if you were nice to them, and that's
True.
You know,
That's true.
sometimes you got to sidestep those people.
It's true. It's true. And you're right. And we get. And I always say this: if I don't like you, it doesn't mean I can't love you. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a gift I received many years ago. I learned how to do that. I learned how to, like, I can't explain why I just maybe don't like a person. And it's not that I don't like them. It's just that something about the energy ain't right. It just doesn't work. I can't explain. I don't like that guy because of this. I can't. It's just something's not right. We don't jive. The mojo's not right. But it's. I can love the man. Or I can love that person.
I quite often say I like the guy, or I like the person, or I hate what they do.
I don't like him, but I love him.
I like the person, but I hate what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Somebody can have an amazing personality, but be doing all kinds of things that are just not right.
Yes.
You know, and that's where I go. Like that's just.
And this is where the conversation goes when you're driving 2,000 miles.
You know, there's individuals that I've known for years, and you know, if their name comes up, I hear a lot of stuff about them.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll quite often say, you know, that's never been my experience with this particular individual, but I understand where you're coming from, and I think you're right about him.
Yes.
But he's never rubbed me wrong.
I haven't had that experience.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
so until that happens, I gotta just kind of, you know, and sometimes it takes two to tangle, right?
Well, it always does. Not
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, it always does.
Not sometimes.
So-
It's
so-
always.
So if you throw me an attitude and I throw you an attitude back, guess what's going to happen? Right?
Yeah. I don't
You're
know.
going to get two attitudes that clash. You know what I mean? Like pride up against pride,
Yeah.
hard nose up against hard nose.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
No.
So
So this is Dryden,
I do not know.
Thunder Bay, Kenora. Oh no, not quite. Dryden is 42, so we're good. So our next stop. But before we get off the topic, Morgan, I want to say this publicly. That there's not a lot of people I can do this with, especially.
There's not a lot of people I can do this with either.
Well, I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
I'm kind of a fickle
Yeah.
fella. As much as people may not think that, I have to jive with you. I can't go driving 2,000 miles or 4,000 miles with just anybody. I can't do it. I have to like you.
Yeah, you know, and I made a joke before we left about, you know, are we still going to like each other when we get back to Duncan?
Yeah, exactly.
So far, so good. We made it halfway almost now. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of proven that.
Yeah, and that's an understanding, right? But again, all these things, and this is just one man's opinion. All these things, it's a mill, eh?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Where'd they get in the trees?
Here, but they're short. They're real short.
Yeah, there's some wood there, I guess. 1 2x4 per tree.
That's a personal thing, right? Like that's up to the individual. We all have a choice. You know, you're not going to make me feel nothing, Morgan. It's my choice, right?
Oh yeah.
You can say whatever to me. You can do it. It's
It's all how you react.
yeah. It's how I'm going to be reacting to you. Which are usually, if it's negative, I just turn around and go the other way. I don't need to pull my suspenders out. But some do.
Yeah.
Some do. Just don't have the energy for that stuff. This is beautiful in here.
Yeah.
So anyway, friends, there's a lot of campers and there's lakes everywhere here, friends. There's lakes everywhere. So this is what I'm saying to you. Go over to this guy's freaking channel, Wild West Garage. Sub to him, or at least see what he's doing. If you like him, give him a sub. I can't tell you to sub. I never tell nobody to sub to nobody but I do tell people to go check the odd person out that I think is good. And it's up to you what you do from there on. So, Morgan, I'm glad you're here with me.
I'm glad I'm here too. This is awesome.
It's fun, isn't it, bud?
Yeah, we're having fun.
We're having a good
Absolutely.
time, friends. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about that, about how we hooked up. Over and out. There's a graveyard right there. A little graveyard, friends. Literally right there in the bushes. A graveyard. Just crazy.